Aurora jump in, a great three, going to stun out two people. He's going to trade his life, but it's worth 2 for 1 because of the slow. Meanwhile, Omega in solo lane is going to get a tower, but a Gold Fury and a 4 for 1 down to Frag, showing they are not afraid of cognitive gaming here in game 1 of these Parabellum finals.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to put their dominance into this game. They didn't want to leave any impression that they're just gonna fall asleep. And right now, I gotta say it, the battery pack is just doing work. It's just keeping teammates going, keeping these extra objectives within range. She's really making it possible to go for that second tower.
The stuns are real, though, as Dare to Care is once again going to fall in left lane. The Stinger is going to hit failure by design, but the Root, just not enough. Mini-Prince trying to decide if he wants to engage on this, but with everyone having just spawned, I don't think they want to. They really want the tower, but is it worth it? They're going to say, no, they got enough for the trade. Why risk getting a tower if they could possibly get 3-man wiped there?
Yeah, very mature call there by the members of Down to Frag to just say, look, we got a couple kills, we got a lot of gold, let's just go ahead and back off. And I just want to seriously, I know I've been beating the dead horse here, but seriously, look at the player healing on Afro, nearly 7K. Now I know a lot of that's on herself, but dear God.
I actually don't think healing yourself counts as healing, if I'm correct. In the player stats. I believe self-heals do not count in player stats. I can't confirm that. If anyone in chat or anyone who can would let me know there. But Down to Frag playing amazingly, just like last game, taking an early lead and grinding it out. They just keep getting more picks, more kills, and the Odin Zeus combo are not even the main. They're all playing good. That dual lane dominating the Barracuda Dare to Care lane, and Rambozo and Aurora having great synergy here to counter gank. And like you said, the better pick, but actually Rambozo a little caught out here. We actually see him, I don't know if he's going to be able to do everything. We actually see Anderster come down, and he is going to get knocked up into a Kraken. Aurora having to jump out. A little bit of misplay coming out there. The silence come out on a mini turn, but the Deathlight is going to miss. 1 for 0. And they're looking for a blood. We're actually going to see Afro blinked and knocked away, but the Afro ult is going to make her immune. Kraken is down, but Cognitive is pressuring this tower anyway here. Are they going to be able to do it? Neath is charging the ult. I think they're looking for a stun combo and any squishy.
Yeah, they've already used their big gun with the MLC Stealth Poseidon ultimate, so they're probably going to go ahead and just back off here, which they did in fact do. And we have confirmation by someone in chat, self-healing does not count. So 7K, maybe a little bit over that now, 8.5K healing. Just on everybody else. And you know what? While we have a chance, I want to look at builds here. We see Stealth going to build Void Stone, very standard, going into Tiny Trinket. Probably could, I don't know what that's going to be. It could be a couple varieties. It could be Polynomicon. It could be, I believe, does it build into Chronos Pendant? You're referring to Tiny Trinket? Tiny Trinket does not build into Chronos Pendant.
No, that is the artifact, yes.
Yes. Tiny Trinket builds into Bancroft's Talon. Yes. So he's going for the Bancroft Talon. Okay.
Bancroft's Talon, yep, went into the Lesser Talon. Then going to go into Bancroft's. Right now, Omega is very tanky. Doesn't have that Urchin finish, but he has no damage items outside of his boots, and he has Hog Rank 1 and Blink. Not going to do much for him until he can get his full build, but look at this left lane. Down to Frag continuing this pressure.
Yeah, and right about now, they're probably looking at that left tower and deciding they want to go ahead and just take it, go ahead and knock it off the board since it's right there. Meanwhile, the members of Cognitive are hovering closer towards this fire giant. So they, it's for sure that they want to go ahead and try and get this. And actually, we see 2 wards back to back, both sentry wards by both teams, one on each individual side of the rock if you look over the fire giant. So they have vision there, and unknowingly they both have vision there.
Yeah, great placement by both. But look at this middle lane, and nothing was happening. I went over there for nothing. But the Gold Fury is going to be spawning here in 11 seconds, and this is going to be the next point of contention.
Yeah, and right with Zeus ult up, with Thor, or not Thor, with Odin ult up, with a Blink up and available, you have to be careful about how you approach this if you're Cognitive Gaming. And actually, Sun Wukong's going to get Fearless Charge. Meanwhile, Megatron is actually in a little bit of a tight spot here as he's surrounded by 3 members of Down to Frag, and so he had to use his ultimate just to get out of there. Bacchus is going to go ahead and come in as well. So a little bit of a scary notion if you are Cognitive. Now that ultimate is down and the Gold Fury is looking a little bit more tasty if you are down to Frag, and Tyr is just now starting to hoof his way on back. I don't know if Cognitive's going to elect to try and defend this.
Yeah, I don't think they want a team fight in the jungle right now with that Odin Zeus combo. Tyr not having his ultimate available or Blink, I believe in. That might be a smart call. A call that people. Oh, are they going for Fire Giant? They just popped Heavenly. They want to get there as fast as possible. They actually have vision and the other team doesn't, but MLC Stealth is going to smell it out here. Neath is in left though, taking a small harpy, was not ready for it, and Down to Frag's going to back off of that.
Yeah, they just wanted to try and ninja that Fire Giant unexpected, because if you think about it, it's a very smart call, because after you do Full Fury, traditionally what most teams would do is back. So if you don't see the enemy team on the map and you are Cognitive Gaming or any other enemy team, you're assuming that they're at base, buying, coming back to lane.
Yes.
So sneaking that Fire Giant was actually a very good call. It's just unfortunate for them, it was smelled out quite easily.
Yeah, and Minipern's sitting very tanky. Finished Sovereignty, finished Bulwark. That's going to give him a ton of health. He's probably sitting at about 3,500 plus, and then he's going to be building into Light Blade. I'm assuming those are going to be Quinn size, which are going to give him a percentage of health on hit pre-penetration, though, so he will need some penetration if he actually wants to do damage with that.
Yeah, and, looking over at the Fire Giant again, we see that both teams have vision on this Fire Giant. And I'm not sure if Datacare is doing this intentionally anymore. I really am not sure.
It's possible. It's, COG is a very good team. You have to think that everything they're doing is intentional, including, especially warding, because warding is one of the biggest parts of this game, giving you vision to not only survive ganks, but gank yourself and counter gank, and it's too important to not know what you're doing with it.
Yeah, you're right there. And it looks like everyone's just kind of waiting for the opportunity here to really get the first bit at this Fire Giant, or at least get a pick off if you're the members of Down to Frag here. And why don't you go ahead and explain what is the best option for Cognitive in the next, say, 2 minutes?
Okay, Cognitive needs to do exactly what they're doing right now. Kind of poking any enemy that walks up. His Minipern is going to look for the stun. He is going to get on Dare to Care, but he's just kind of balanced out there. Trying to get a pick here is very rough because Down to Frag is very together. They have been, except right now Snoopy is making me look like a fool over there in right lane. But they don't need to get a pick. They need to stay grouped. They need to continue farming as 5 what they're doing, grabbing any lane XP and any small camps they can, and they need to wait for Down to Frag to do Fire Giant. Down to Frag, however, doesn't need to do Fire Giant. They need to look for a pick. They need to find someone to kill and then do Fire Giant, and that's what they're doing. They're kind of trolling throughout this jungle here on the right side around Fire Giant, looking for anyone who they can stun out and get out of position.
Yeah, and being down 10,000 gold, that's probably the best option they have. 10,000 gold marker is really the marker point to where you have to start really playing carefully. Because that's a lot of items that you're down by, in essence. You look over at the members of Down to Frag, and they're down a 4th item, as they're actually going to go ahead and start Fire Giant here. They denied a little vision here, and now this is the opportunity that Cognitive might have been looking for here. They might go ahead and try and fight, but no, actually they're going to go ahead and turn their attention as so many ultimates come out. The Quacken comes out, Odin ultimate comes out, Sun Wukong ultimate comes out, Zeus ultimate comes out. 2 members of Cognitive are stuck inside, and it looks like they will be able to escape just fine. Now they're actually going to have to turn their attention over to this Tyr, who's going to ultimate his way out of there. Thanatos is going to use his ultimate as well, and it looks like nobody's going to fall after
Aurora in
that.
a very bad spot here in the right lane as 4 members of Cognitive has collapsed, but the squad is coming back in. Mini Prince going to stun out, but Aurora does fall, and a great root on Barracuda, but he's going to blink and stay rooted. The cripple and slow taking into effect. It's only a 1-for-0 in favor of Cog, and that's exactly what Cog wants at this point.
Yeah, and so now you gotta start wondering, are they gonna go ahead and try and force this tower? And it looks like they will with the battery pack on hand right now, having 13.5k player healing. It's just really hard to get them to just get low enough to stop doing these objectives.
They need to be careful here, though. I'm sorry for interrupting, but now they're going to back, and Cognitive is coming back fresh. Cognitive's going to go for the Fire Giant here if they recognize that Down to Frag has backed.
They do realize that Vision is on it, so they might be a little hesitant to do it, but it does look like they want to start it. And actually, Anister here might be in a little bit of trouble here. Zeus is in full chase to try and catch him, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to, as Thanatos just popped through and was like, do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, so what happened in that last fight there is Aurora went very deep. Right here, he actually had the perfect ultimate to give him the protections and many the protections against the Quacken, as Down to Frag is currently doing Gold Fury. But the Quacken only got them, it maybe did like 30 to 40% of their health, which is exactly what Aurora wanted there. And, that really turned around the fight, but then they weren't able to kill anyone in the back line. That's Down to Frag, that is.
Yeah. Ultimately, they were only able to pick up somebody after their good guy Odin was stuck in the back lines, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it didn't help them to try and secure the objective they intentionally wanted. But they did, however, in the later part, secure a Gold Fury, which is now setting them up for a nearly 13k lead, which is a little scary if you are Cognitive here. So ultimately, what they need to do is catch them at Fire Giant. I mean, at this point, you're not going to be allowed to farm. You're not going to be allowed to just sit there and farm without losing a big objective like a Phoenix or a Fire Giant. So you can only pick up some camps here and there, which is not going to be enough to really compensate this 13k gold lead. And you're going to have to catch Down to Frag off guard.
I don't think much has really changed here outside of Down to Frag increasing their gold lead. It's still putting Cognitive in the same position where Cognitive really needs to wait for Down to Frag to do something and then counter-engage with that Quacken pretty much comboing off of the Bacchus Leap. And Down to Frag right now needs to look for a pick so they can force Fire Giant without having to worry about that Bacchus and Quacken lineup, or combo.
Yeah, and definitely right now they're making full usage out of that combo. You look over and you see Zeus having 9 assists. He's really been a part of every team fight. More so noteworthy is how much of kill presence this Sun Wukong has just been. I mean, even though he is the support character, he's really started to make his presence known in the damage category, and he's got Quinn size to boot, so he's really been a backline murderer.
Yeah, he just attacked the Fire Giant. I almost want to think that he was baiting it, trying to see if they had vision of it. He's pretty deep right now, though, looking for the enemy players there. Meanwhile, we have Failure by Design pulling it, and this is a very... Oh, we do see the stun miss, or was he... I believe he was actually just connecting to Aurora there on that Odin, and they're still trolling around looking for a pick, and... we actually see Omega juke out the stun here in right lane. They look like they want to kill him as Barracuda's going to rotate in, and Mini Purge just going to be a front line at this point, just trying to soak up damage and do as much as he can.
Meanwhile, Thanatos is over here trying to sneak this mid tower, and he might just try and take it, or he might just back off here. But he does have his ultimate ready if he needs to bail. Actually, Down to Frag is going to go ahead and start the Fire Giant here. It's already down to 3/4 of its health, and now all the members of Cognitive are present and ready to contest this. And now the turnaround by Down to Frag as they bring the house, but the Zeus ultimate is going to come out onto Anister while the Quacking comes out on quite a few people. and it's just going to be the first one to fall. And now they're turning their attention onto Bacchus as they still had the lead.
Cog takes the Fire Giant, though. No one was reset it, and we actually had Mini Pern Hog just a second too early. Meanwhile, Aurora gets picked up as it's Bacchus and Thanatos for Cognitive, and now we actually see Mini Pern getting chased out here after Rambozo is picked up on that Zeus. Snoopy's Little Cupid gets us out, trying to escape. Gonna do a great knockback, but it looks like Cog wants to dive here. The slow onto Snoopy's Little Cupid. The heal, oh, but a great turnaround coming out. Now Omega getting very low. Mini Pern also getting very low, getting countered.